Okay, we're going to do this little Twinchie book design. It's a little different than the first one that I did, but it's a little simpler in some ways and can be made with less work involved in making it. But I just thought it turned out really cute. So it opens up. And there's all your little Twinchies, and it's got plenty of room for expansion because I do have one in here that has about a 1/4-inch embellishment on the front of it, and they all fit nicely in there. And I like the fact that you could do 6, and this would be perfect. You could make the book and 6 Twinchies and do them for a little swap or something like that. And next month I have something really neat that I'm going to share, but I have to get all of my product in before I can do it and show it. So let's set that one to the side. The way this starts is you're going to create the base of your book by cutting a piece of cardstock that's going to be 5.5 by 6 1/4. Then you're going to put it in your scoreboard and score it in half along the 5.5-inch side at 2 3/4. Super simple, easy. Now you can round the corners first, or you can round them after. This was where I was making sure that double thickness of the cardstock would work in the envelope maker rounding punch, because this little thing would not go through 2 pieces of cardstock. And unfortunately right now I can't afford one of those chomper things, so I had to experiment to see what I had that would work in that I had here. And the envelope punch board rounder will do the double thickness, so if you want to wait until you have this part done, then you can. And what you want to do is you want to glue that piece of cardstock in half. And you want to have a thin bead of glue about 1/8 of an inch from the edge, so that when you fold this in half, and find my bone folder. I should have cleaned off the desktop, and I just didn't. I said I would just do it like it was. And you just want to burnish down those edges so that that glue, rather than necessarily oozing out the ends, it will blend all the way to the ends, and you get a good solid double piece of cardstock. Now set this to the side and let it dry. When I do covers like this, and I do lots of my book covers this exact same way, I make multiples of them, set them to the side, and let them dry, and then come back and work on my book. So that one will be for another project. So here is the cover completely dried. The corners are rounded. Then once this is dry, you want to put it in your scoreboard. And I actually found my little bitty one. And you want to score from one side along the 6 1/4-inch side at 2 7/8 inches. Turn it and score at 2 7/8 inches. That way you're guaranteed both sides of your book are going to be the same size, and then you have a 1/2-inch spine left in the center. Okay, so now that you've got that completely finished, usually while my stuff is drying, I work on my little pages. And now we're going to build the little pocket pages. And all they are is like a little tube. And you can make these out of any color cardstock you want, depending on how you're going to decorate your cover. You see, on this one, I just done everything in white. Then I sponged the edges with some green ink because I knew I was going to use this patterned paper, and I was going to use the little pear as the decoration on the front of it. So I just used a green ink. I think it's called Shabby Shutters. It's one of the distress inks. And I apologize, sometimes I don't always pay attention to ink colors, names, because I just grab stuff and use it and go, and then sometimes I'm not sure what I've done. Okay, the pocket pages are then going to be 5.5 by 2 1/4 for the Twinchie book. So if you cut a piece, of course you'd have to imagine one more here. If you cut your cardstock at 5.5, the 8.5 by 11 sheet at 5.5, then you can get enough pages for one complete Twinchie book out of one sheet of cardstock. So that's how I did mine. Then you're going to put it in your scoreboard of choice or scoring method of choice, and you're going to score at 2.5 inches and 5 inches along the 5.5 inch side. Super easy. So you do all 6 pieces the same way. What I like to do then is go back and just give that little angle on my tabs, then fold and burnish each of those score lines, making sure that the body of the the pocket lines up, so when you fold that over, you've got an exact, it's not really a square, it's 2 1/4 by 2.5. It's 2.5 wide. That way it allows a little expansion room in the pocket. And then fold this one over. I had all the other ones already glued together. This was just to kind of show y'all how I do it and how I progress. And then glue that one in place. And to glue this one in place. Now, the only other thing I do when I glue my stack of pockets together to put them in the book is look down in the pocket, and whichever side has your joining tab, you want to alternate those. So that little section of double thickness of cardstock is going to stack alternately on each side of your book section. See, it's on this side on this one, this side on this one. And that one's right. Then that one needs to come to this side. So then I can kind of look back down in there and double check myself and make sure that I've got them going the right way. And the reason for that is you want to balance out that edge thickness, because if you stacked all your joining tabs on one side, there would be a difference in the thickness of your book from one side to the other. It would be slight, but it would still be a difference. Then what I do is I want to have the little pull tab section so I can reach down in there and grab the top of the Twinchie. And then you just take your punch, and I just eyeball it. I know about how deep I need to go into the little pocket. And this is a 1.25" punch. And then I just punch the top of each one. And I know I'm getting them out of order, so I'll have to go back and reline them up. So I guess I could have done all this first, then looked at how they were lined up. But you get the idea. And I should have had the ones I already had glued, punched, but I didn't. So is life. Okay, there's all of those. Now, if you're like me and you have multiple projects going at one time, all of these little pieces that you punched out here, unless you just throw them away just because you don't really need them, they make wonderful edgings on your Twinchies. You can take 2 of them and put them together and make a little border down like the side of a Twinchie and all that kind of stuff. So there's things that you can do with them if you choose to keep them. Yeah, I know, I can't help myself. Okay, so let's get these back in the right order. You would think I could remember which one I had put top or bottom there. Come on. I know I'm making this look way more difficult than what it is, but you have to kind of cut me a little slack because of the medical issues I've had lately. Something about my memory, I just can't quite get it. Okay, now we are going to work on the covers to go on the little book. But because I am going to do a specific closure, and this is the back piece of the book, I am going to run some glue on that and put this little piece of jute cord, twine stuff, whatever you want to call it, and glue that down, and that's going to set to the side and dry. And then I'm going to actually do this little book with kind of a coffee theme. So I've got these different little coffee themed stamps that I had ordered online, and this is the first time I've been opening and using them. They were stuff I got off eBay, so that's all I can tell you about them. I search for things, and when I find things I like, I buy them and I use them, and that pretty much is that. So I know I'm going to use this little bean. Let's see, might need a little bigger block. Let's go with this one. So we'll stick that one there and have it ready. And then from this set, this lady even sent me this little cool little package of ephemera and a little sample of washi tape on the set that I got from her. This one, I am going to want to use this little stamp, and it looks like a spilled coffee ring, or I call it a mug ring, but whatever. That's what it looks like. Now, I'm going to use this Latte Adirondack ink pad, and it's so sad that they don't make these colors anymore in the Adirondack inks, because I loved them. And the first thing I'm going to do is I just want to do a little background, just some random stuff. And I don't want a whole lot of ink there because I want my bolder colors to show through. And this is just a script background. And it's from Innovative Stamp Creations. My friend Betsy has that company, and that's one of her stamps. And let's see. There's enough sticky left on that block to hold that down. And I'm just trying to create a little bit of a collage-y feel, but I wanted to keep everything in browns, so there wasn't a whole lot of color jumping off at me. Yeah, that'll work. Like I said, this is just kind of a random anyway. Let's see. I want the coffee. Oh, cute. And I'm just going to kind of randomly stamp them just to create a little background. Nothing precise and nothing exact. I just do it on the fly. And I'm going to take this is the potting soil, and I think it's a little, yeah, it's a little darker. So I want to do a couple of coffee rings, just kind of random on the page. Cute. Okay, then I'm going to take my gathered twigs, because it just seems to be my go-to color whenever I want to randomly do some distressing on the edges of stuff. Cute, cute, cute. Okay. Set those to the side for a minute, and we'll mess up this little stack of pockets one more time. You don't really have to put ink on the bottom. You're not going to see it, but I at least want to get it around the sides. Whenever I used to demonstrate and do this kind of stuff, I would have various pieces of, product in finished stages so I could just grab it and go, but that was a lot different than trying to do it and record it. You kind of want to show everything you're doing so that they can see it good. Okay, I think the twine is set. And that glue that I use is just the Art Glitter glue in a little needle tip bottle. I got the Art Glitter glue from Amazon that doesn't have the it just has the plain cap on it, because it was, to me, it just was a little more glue for less money, and I was going to put it in the needle tip bottle anyway, so that's what I did. Okay, so then these are going to be my, oh, I forgot about this little booger. This is going to just be the liner for the spine. Let's see. Let's move this just a minute. And I totally forgot to, where's the little, there they are. The little coffee beans. Oh, wrong color. This was my coffee bean color. Just want to add a few of these just to the little spine piece. And might as well add just part of a little ring. Cute. Okay, set those to the side. I know y'all will get tired of seeing my hands in a minute, won't you? Okay, so I'm not going to worry about a lining piece on the inside. So I think, yeah, we'll just do the little coffee beans on the inside. Oh. Get the right shade of brown back out here. And you're only going to see just a smidgen of it anyway. So it's not like even having anything there is that terrible important, but we'll put it just so we know it's there. Okay, so this is the back of the book. So I don't guess it matters which of these I use, since they're both kind of just alike. I'll forget to put my cap on, and then I have to do my little needle thing down in there every time. But I keep those little needles stuck up there, or pins rather. They're not needles, they're pins. And I should have put the glue on the piece I was layering, not on this, because it's not going to go all the way to the edge. See what fun it is when you don't do it right? But y'all will get the general idea, and that's what matters. I guess I brought the glue in well enough. Wasn't too terribly bad. Yay. That looks so cute. Okay, now this is going to be the front, but I want, I guess it's going to be the 5/8 inch punch. Let's do 2 of these and glue them together. then we will brush the ink around the edges. And I kind of like this little bitty, more solid beam there. Let's try that. I'll just put it on the back side of that block. And the darker one. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. I know where I'm going to use that bean at some more for sure then. Oh, that is just too sweet. I like that. Okay, now, where is my... I wasn't going to use one of these. I had some smaller ones and I don't know where they're at. But we will use it and kind of fake it. So I'm going to get my hole started so I know where I want it or where it needs to be. And give myself the idea of where the hole needs to be there. Then thread that through, and you don't want this to clamp down. You want that little bit of give. I don't know if you can see that, but see my fingernail can go under it. So that once you do press the twines down, then this is going to raise up and it's going to allow your string to wrap around that. And if you wanted to go back and put something to cover up this piece, you can. I probably will, but I'm not going to fool with it right this minute. It'll be fine right where it's at. Just to get this finished. And then we will glue the little spine piece on. I just kind of eyeball it and get it up there. That glue gives me about 1.5 seconds to wiggle it to get it right. And so that's going to be the cover of the book, and then that's how my little closure will be. And I've left plenty of room, so as the, if the book gets kind of fat, you've still got a little room, and then you can trim off any excess, or you could leave you enough and make a little charm on the end of it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, so that was one reason I cut a little excess and left it there. Okay, now making sure that I didn't... Okay, this one's on this side, so we want to make sure this one's on that side. And we want to put just a little bit of glue in the center. And then I just lay it on top. Make sure it's lined up and press it in place. It's on that side. So that one's correct. And same thing, glue it into place. And all I can do is hope that all of this is going to show up. And y'all can see it and understand it. It ended up being a cloudy day here. We have storms expected, so even though I craft right at a window, I don't have all I have is just various lights over me. And I craft at this open window, or this at the window, because I like the natural light coming in. It tends to help me see the colors and stuff better. Okay. Now, what you want to do when you glue, now I have all of the pockets put together. So as you can see there's all your little accordion pockets. So you could make these any size you wanted or needed them to be. We actually, way back years ago, I can remember it was about 98 or 99, I think, we had on our big rubber stamping group on the internet we had back then, we did one of these as a swap, and you had to make the book, and I think it had to have 3 pockets in it. and it had to have card fronts for each pocket. Okay, let me get this glued into place. See that score line right there? You want to line this up to the outside or the cover side of that score line, and then just remember that you have about 1/8 of an inch on either side. So make sure you've got it lined up, and then just press that into place. Because the only place you're putting glue is just in the center. That's what gives you that pretty accordion effect. If you glued that down solid, you're not going to get that much expansion. And to me, they just don't look as good when they're glued so solid. So then I'm going to put it on the cover side. And then the main thing about when you fold the cover up is you just want to make sure that your covers are even. So I grab it and I stand it up. Oh, when I put that in there, that glue popped loose, so we'll have to retouch that up. Then I flip it over and take the bone folder and put it in that first pocket, and then just rub that. Burnish that glue down well, and then you'll see from adding this, it kind of loosened my glue up in there. So I'm going to take that little needle tip and squirt some glue and kind of spread it so that I can get that glued back down. And a little bit oozed out, but that's okay. It didn't hurt anything. And then kind of burnish that well. And voila, it will be done. So there's my little way of closing the front of the book. And then there's all the little pockets. And then as you make your Twinchies, you can store Twinchies in there. I'm actually going to do a set of 6 coffee-themed Twinchies using these stamps and some other things that I've got. And then on the front of this, I actually have a die cut that makes the little bitty to-go cup. And so I'm going to actually put one there. And I may use some other little foo-foo on it as well, but I'm at least going to add one of those there. So that's the little coffee-themed Twinchie book. And that's just how easy it is to make them. So give it a try and let me know what you think. And if you have any questions, holler at me. I will be more than happy to answer them and get you squared away if you didn't understand something that I did. Thanks, y'all. Bye.